Welcome back to SportsZone. I'm your host, Steven Lucero, and we're going to talk some MLB spring training. It's officially underway. The Rangers have gotten moving, and it's been a pretty exciting start so far. Joining me to talk about it, Rohan, Srivivasan, and Sam Little. Rohan, I'll start with you. Obviously, it's just spring training. You don't want to dive anywhere too deep into this, but we've seen some ups and downs, but I've seen some good things from Texas so far. What have you seen?
Potentially. So before today, even if we take last year, right, the first 6 games of spring training, we went 4-2. This time was 2-4 before today. Had a doubleheader today, lost both 5-1, 7-3. So not looking good. But again, it's spring training, as you said, very early in the season.
Yeah, definitely very early. That brings the record even at 4-4. So the Rangers, not in a horrible spot. But Sam, I'll ask you, what have you seen from them so far over these first few games?
Yeah, I like to have the quote of you can't win the World Series in spring training, but you can certainly lose it. I think that, the sample size is a little too young for this season at least. I know the Rangers are coming off a disappointing year, kind of the World Series hangover after winning it in 23. So I think that, with the pitching arms that are coming back and then the young guys that they've got in the lineup right now, I think that it could be on the up and up for the Rangers.
Yeah, it had been a pretty good start, and today they had the sort of rare double game where the team is split. Obviously, again, just spring training things. But Rohan, what do you see from them today? Obviously, in 2 losses,
Happened at the same time.
Yes.
Exact same time, and I might add, there's an A team and a B team.
Yes.
The A team played the Brewers, B team the Athletics, and that's why you saw guys like Sam Haggerty, Corey Smith, all those guys, Josh Smith also, in the A team lineup, and of course Jock Peterson in the B lineup because he hasn't gotten it going. Hopefully he can, but again, 2 losses, 5-1, 7-3. Again, very early in the season, Steven. It just wasn't our night tonight.
Yeah, definitely just not our day. And if it was confusing to the schedule, that was 2 separate games at the exact same time. That's just the way spring training works. But Sam, what do you see from them today, and how do you think they can kind of bounce back, hopefully, coming up?
I think definitely with the A team, losing a guy like Corey Freeman is going to hurt with him fracturing, I think it was a bone in his back. He's going to be out, probably for the foreseeable future, especially with an injury like that. You kind of want to take your time with it. You don't want to rush him back to anything. But I think that with today, it was being weird. I think you're just seeing development. I mean, you got to remember the last time some of these guys took a ground ball was last September and October. Right. So I think that it will off a live professional bat. I think that it's just going to take time. You got to be able to crawl and walk before you can run.
Right. Also for the Brewers, Tyler Black, 3 hits, 2 RBIs. So young and upcoming baseman, and I really like that from him. Rangers, Brewers, it's typically a good matchup, but again, spring training only draws like 20 fans, Steven, so.
Yeah, that's not a surprise, I might say, but it's just kind of the way it goes. But I think for this team, really what I'm looking for in spring training is growth and development, especially from the young guys. You mentioned Cody Freeman, unfortunate, one of the little rascals of last season, suffers that injury. So hopefully he'll be back a little bit later on. But I'll ask you, Rohan, what other young guys are you kind of hoping to see something from?
I was just about to say, last season in around August, September, Dave Raymond said Little Rascals. That's how they got the name. But again, Justin Foscue, couple of hits there. But again, the young guns, I just don't trust them as of right now. Obviously, they got hot late last season. But Foscue, Alejandro Osuna, you really can't debate that, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's going to take some time, and I think, Sam, I'll ask you, what are some of the young guys that you're looking for, maybe not right away, but kind of building as we look forward?
I think that Justin Foscue is going to be an important part. Actually, he is a sideline day-to-day with hamstring tightness, so hopefully the injury bug doesn't bite the Rangers too much. And then, like you mentioned, Tyler Black, who had an outstanding day with spring training, I think is going to be somebody good. And I think that with the pitching staff, Jack Leiter, I like to mention that he spent 3 years in Frisco with the Rough Riders AA team. So hopefully him and Kumar Rocker, who were teammates at Vanderbilt, can establish a good 1-2 in the rotation. Obviously, they're not the 1 and 2 guys with Nathan Eovaldi, but I think that with the 2 Vanderbilt guys from one of those legendary Vanderbilt 2019 teams. Hopefully they can get it established. The Rangers are going to be, kind of in the hunt this year. The AL West is super competitive. The Astros and then the Mariners, who won the division last year. I think that those 2 are, still kind of the Astros are on the last leg of that little dynasty run that they're on. But I think that with the Rangers, if they can be competitive, no one's worried about the Sacramento or whatever they are Athletics. So I think that with the Rangers being good at the AL West, it's going to be better for the Mariners and the Astros and overall the division, because you want 3 out of your 4 teams to be competitive versus it's going to be Seattle or Houston from April to October being in the lead. So I think that hopefully with the Rangers this year, they can take that step forward towards a World Series or a playoff appearance versus taking that step back on what they did last year.
Yeah, great point, Sam. And the Rangers are a team this offseason who really made a lot of moves. I think it maybe you could say is the most turbulent offseason since we acquired Seager and Semien a few years back. So it's been a lot of changes. We mentioned a lot of the departures, but I want to talk about some of the new guys, as we mentioned. Brandon Nimmo and Danny Jansen have kind of created a bit of a friendship. It seems like they're getting along pretty well. Rohan, what have you seen from some of these new guys, and what is your kind of hopes for them going forward?
Brandon Nimmo, a bit emotional for me because I met Marcus Semien at Cheesecake Factory, and it's a bit of emotional for me because I actually talked to him, so that's some inside information. But again, Nimmo, he's a good player to swap for cash considerations, but I'm expecting just not elite numbers, but maybe 245 batting average, 250, getting RBIs whenever you need it. Again, the bats have not been consistent in the past 2 years. It's not going to make me think that in this season, just because we acquired a new few guys, that it's going to change, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's going to take some time. I think, as you said, this isn't something you maybe rebuild in a year, but I think they've shown some positive growth of just kind of turning the page. Unfortunately, hate to see some of the legends of that 2023 team go, but I just think it signals a new chapter for Texas. So I'll ask you, Sam, with these new guys, how do you think they can fare, and do you think this team can be competitive going towards October?
I'm going to highlight Mackenzie Gore. He was traded from Washington, I believe, for picks. And what was the other? Was there a player?
5 prospects.
It was five prospects. I think that he's not going to be a guy that's going to go out there and have 7 2/3 of shutout baseball, but he has been top 5 in strikeouts in the last couple of years. So I think that definitely if him and Eovaldi want to be the 1-2 punch, having 2 really good pitchers is going to take you a long way, especially when you get towards October, and then only the strong survive from that point. So if Eovaldi has had a bad week or two, then Gore can kind of take it from there.
Right.
And don't forget Jacob DeGrom.
No.
What do you mean no?
He's healthy right now.
Well, how long is that going to go? What's the over/under on Jacob
That's
DeGrom's
true.
season-ending injury? I've got about May 30th. Who's with me?
That's true.
No, I got to disagree. I see everyone raising their hand. I understand. Jacob DeGrom has faced a lot of injuries, and it's definitely a concern, but he was able to stay mostly healthy over the course of last season. But I will ask you guys, you mentioned some of the young guys, Jack Leiter, Kumar Rocker. Looking at this pitching rotation as a whole,
Right.
Rohan, how consistent do you think they can be?
All healthy, top 5 in baseball.
Wow.
Definitely, in my opinion. Now, Kumar Rocker, he has not done well in spring training. Only 2 strikeouts in 1 game, gave up around 5 hits. I see Evo, and his command is absolutely amazing. Why is Kumar Rocker? His command isn't good at all. His slider is unplayable, but he just doesn't have it. And like I said, it is spring training. It's very early. I have no doubt that as the season goes along, Kumar Rocker might just fit into that rotation. And again, his slider is unplayable, so let's get it going.
It could happen. Jack Leiter is kind of a guy we saw over the last few years, just struggling. He spent some time in the minors and just felt like finally kind of turned that page and got it going last season. Look at some other guys at the back half, Cody Bradford, hopefully trying to be healthy this year as well. But Sam, do you agree with top 5? Do you think they can stay healthy?
I think they're a C+ squad until otherwise proven.
Wow.
Even all healthy?
Your best ability is availability, and if your number 1 guy's out of contention for any awards by May because he hasn't been healthy, I think that's going to become an issue. So hopefully, I don't wish it upon him because DeGrom, when he's healthy, is a absolute top 5 pitcher in baseball. Right. But as a staff, you're only as strong as your weakest link, and I don't think the weakest link for the Rangers bullpen is a top 5 bullpen.
I mean, I always say the best ability is availability. However, we can only play when the healthy game. Like, we can only play that game right now because no one is injured as of now. But how about Walcott? Sebastian Walcott? He was
the one that is injured.
Exactly. So I can't put him in because he had elbow surgery. However, we're talking about pitching rotation. Yeah. I believe it is top 5 in baseball if you ask me.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm somewhere in between. I think I'm looking more like top 10. And I think that they can build if healthy. And like we said, when healthy is definitely a big question mark over all our teams. But we'll have to watch, and we will move on over to our next block and talk some NFL offseason preview.